This hat is absolutely killing me. I think it's not even the fact that it's a Vegas Dave hat. It's the flat brim, and you look like a dude who works at a skateboard shop. Like you're the like 38-year-old who still works at Zoomy skateboards, and the kids come in and you, are still very hip in it.
I was gonna say we should just act like I'm like don't even notice it the whole episode.
I could. Dude. It actually seems like it's kind of a high quality hat.
You think so, huh?
Is it?
No, it's all right, I guess.
Yeah. What does it look like? I mean, you got to have does it have anything on the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay.
I have what I've noticed that I put this hat on. I have the biggest head in all of DFS.
Yeah, I was gonna say it did seem like you had quite a lot of the buttons or whatever.
It's enormous.
Yeah, it's always like, I guess now you're giving me the confidence to kind of rock it like this. It always feels like, yeah, you either look like you're a skateboarder or you look like a player on draft night, like wearing their new hat, like after signing with the team.
Yeah, no, yeah. I've never worn a hat like this.
Do you think it's going to become like your new identity?
I don't think so.
Yeah?
I really don't. Oh, it does look good.
It is good. How do you feel about being a walking billboard for Vegas Dave now?
I feel great. And couldn't be happier. We'll see how, if I win tonight, I don't know. I might have to keep rocking this thing.
Come on, Willis. You got to embrace us on our new hats, man. Did you end up sending me a Vegas Dave shirt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did it get there? I don't know. This is the only one I've gotten so far.
Oh no, if it got here, I would be wearing it right now. This is like one of these days I should do a show. This might be a good one to do with Spags, where I just like go through all of my like fantasy / DFS props and shirts that I have over the years. I probably have like 100 different things at this point.
Yeah.
But
all your Vegas Dave stuff.
What does your shirt say? Nerf herder?
Yeah. Why? What's wrong?
Oh no, I was just wondering. Yeah. Just man, you're shilling for Disney, for Vegas Dave.
Yeah, I don't know if Star Wars and Vegas Dave, I don't know if they go together. Maybe I shouldn't have worn this shirt.
Do you think Vegas Dave has ever seen Star Wars?
He's like, I guarantee he's like, Star Wars for pussies. Star Wars for pussies. Something like that, you know.
Vegas Dave, man, his Bitcoin call is just starting to look incredible now. I mean, we're up to almost 64K here.
And that was really risky at the time when it was 59,999 when he called that.
Yeah. And I love now he's getting all these Photoshops of him with his single Bitcoin he owns. I got to pull up the one today.
I think the more people make fun of him, like the more he's like, okay, this bit's working. I'm going to stick with it.
Oh, I guarantee that's how he defines his success. Let's see.
You got to give him credit.
Okay.
He does not stop.
What does he get? He's got his daily. Okay. Yeah. This is the one you had retweeted earlier today. All right. Once it hits 100K, it's off to the rocket ships. Everyone said I was too late for the party at 50K. What do you think it will hit tomorrow once Coinbase? Also, when something is one word, he loves making it 2 words. Coinbase. He thinks it's like actually a base, like a artillery base.
Coins.
Yes, the Coinbase.
It's like Fort Knox.
Yeah. I mean, what is this thing? And then it's I fucking told you. Holding his bags in his single bag. I swear to God, he thinks it's still a physical Bitcoin is 1 Bitcoin.
I joke about that. He can't really, can he?
I think he has to. I think he bought 1 Bitcoin and now he's just so excited for it to get to 100K. I would love to hear Vegas Dave talk about the fundamentals of Bitcoin and why he believes in it.
I'd like to listen to him talk about anything outside of sports.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know if we can do another Vegas Dave show. I mean, we did. He is mentioning that ship has sailed.
What, the Vegas Dave ship?
Yeah, I just don't know if I can do another hour-long Vegas Dave show.
No, I agree. I literally just went outside and there was the box was there. I cracked it open. Hey, my Vegas Dave hat got here early.
I put your hat on Twitter, and it's been some real good clickbait here. We got Nelson, who came over here. You know, click-through rates on YouTube links from Twitter are not very good, but I throw a picture of Brian in his new hat, and his milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Looks good, right, guys? I left the sticker on there.
That's the pro move. You gotta leave the sticker on.
Yeah. Is it on top? Oh, you left all of them on there.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, it's the only one that came on the Vegas Dave one.
Yeah. I mean, I got to get this hat PSA graded, and so you definitely want to leave the stickers on.
This hat cost $87, and it was worth every penny. No, it wasn't that much. I'm kidding.
It was probably like 35, right?
I think it was like 26.
Okay. All right. It would be because Vegas Dave's whole thing, like with it. Oh, can you turn down your speakers a little bit? I'm getting echo.
Yeah.
His whole thing is like, you know, these fancy purses and stuff, but he was way too lazy to actually go for like high-end boutique merchandise, because it would have been funny if he was selling like $450 snake skin shirts or something.
Yeah, he should have had one item like that to stick with his brand. All right, let's stop talking about Vegas Day. This is just a bit. It's just a bit.
Okay, so it is PayPal My Money DFS does confirm that you can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. So
okay, news to me.
So then we did have the Coinbase IPO today. The Coinbase was absolutely ripping. I think it was at like $420 earlier. I don't know what it's at now. Have you been monitoring those movements?
Yeah, it was at 434, and then it dropped over 100.
Really? The euphoria stage fell out?
And then it went back up after hours like a couple bucks, but yeah, not good.
I discovered, I mean, I knew I had it, but a couple weeks ago, I remembered that I had bought a decent amount of Binance coin, the BNB, like way back during the first, shit coin run. And man, that I think I got it at like 20 or 30 bucks at the time. It's up to 547 right now. And I think because of kind of the similar Coinbase euphoria of everyone saying like, this is what Coinbase is doing. What happens if, Binance ever IPOs? But yeah, I'm definitely pretty excited about my BNB these days.
That sounds, pretty tasty. 20
pretty
to 500.
Tasty.
Did you really ape in back then? Are you looking at a nice house?
No, not quite a house. Not quite a car. A car though. Yeah.
See, that's why you got to ape into these things.
The thing is I had like literally, I've done it twice now since the shitcoin run, where I basically had to do a full crypto audit of where all my coins were at, because, some of them I knew, but then others I had a lot on Binance, and then they spun off into Binance US and made you do the KYC stuff, where they were like, if you can't, if you show that you're in the United States, you need to be on Binance US. And they basically started doing the clock countdown. So I had to get all my assets over there, but some of the assets didn't have compatibility on Binance US. So like Monero, which I had bought on the regular Binance, then I had to download a Monero wallet and run a node and do all of this stuff just to get my coins off. And it was massively stressful.
Instead of selling, because they wouldn't let you sell it.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me do anything except pull it off to a private wallet, which I guess is the whole point of the privacy coins. But I was just speculating. I wasn't like trying to like send money for illegal goods.
I think Monero, if this whole integration works into Wall Street and the state's okay with it and everything, I think those privacy coins could get a bump, because it's so easy to track Bitcoin. And once they have your card, and then they'll require Coinbase to give them records, even more so than they do now. And
I feel like you at you as the big libertarian, you have to love these privacy coins.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of figured Bitcoin was like that when I first kind of got into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not. I didn't see like Coinbase going public 7 years later, and then and it's on CNBC constantly, so it's so accepted that I don't know. I think they could do some. They're gonna do some regulations. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think in the DeFi space too. But like once they can track you, like you could probably get it off on the Monero from your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Might be a way to do it. And then back onto a new wallet or something. So you could probably still stay in there and just use Monero. But I think and also this is kind of just like the underground market really well, but it's pretty big.
Yeah.
I could see Monero doing well.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna make a note every year to log into my Monero wallet so I remember how to do it. This is a good question from Paul, and it was something we kind of talked about when Top Shot was really pumping about how Top Shot was so attractive to a lot of smaller stakes DFS players because you do put a lot of time in, like Paul's saying here, for a small return. Whereas when the market is pumping, it's much easier to feel like a winner. So obviously your thoughts are probably different from where Paul's coming from, just because you're playing higher stakes. Your thoughts are also probably different in that you've had, if I recall correctly, a couple big scores of late. But what do you think about this?
Yeah, I was just thinking about this actually. One of the things for guys who are currently playing, I think, and I was praising you during the football season that you do so well, is bankroll management. I think is so important now because the edge is so small. Like you can't just ape in, to the 4,400 for 15, whatever, 10 buy-ins or something and just make it back, within a couple months. I think those days, being pretty darn sure you're gonna win. I think those days are gone. It's like, I don't know. I think it's like a recreation.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's so many tools out now too, where you can be a recreational player and you're not dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say it's it's all right. I don't know if like people who want to who are working and hate their job and they want to be DFS, maybe 1% of you can pull it off, but I don't know if I would bank on it.
Yeah. And it's one of those things too, if you are playing, smaller stakes, you have to really, really love the process of researching DFS, making your lineups, reviewing your process, even just watching the sport, staying on top of things, the news. Like you have to love that process. Otherwise, I just imagine, because I know I would burn out so quickly because I don't love all of those elements for all of DFS. So it's kind of like anything, right? Where it's like, yes, you can have an edge, but if the stakes you're playing at aren't high enough, that edge might not be worth the time and emotional investment you're putting into it.
Yeah, it's definitely be possible. And it depends on who you are. Just like you said, like if you are into it, like these are things that you're totally into. Now, some people can be totally into it and they just won't have what it takes, for one reason or another. But if you are into spreadsheets and stat research and, it does help to know the players and stuff, even though I joke that it doesn't, but it does help. So if you are really, really into it, and you work hard, you obsess. I think a lot of being good at stuff, for me anyways, throughout my life, things I've gotten good at, it's just because I have this weird obsession gene or something wrong with me. And I just go hardcore 24/7. And I usually last 4 or 5 years and then I'm done with it. I never do it ever again. It's weird.
Well, and I mean, you could say that about anything, right? Like just having a natural curiosity about something is by far the best way to learn. And I think we all can think back to examples of being in school with a subject we didn't care about, and we probably could get better grades if we wanted, but we just had no motivation, versus you find a project or a thing that captivates your attention and the lengths you will go to be good at something. There's been so many times back when I was editing more videos where I would spend, 4 hours learning how to do an effect just because I knew I wanted to do this effect in the video. And now I had to learn it. And I was excited to track it down and learn how to do that, all because I just had a natural curiosity. But if someone just like, hey, you need to learn this thing and you don't care about it, I mean, that's the most painful thing in the world.
Yeah. And I also think you can't change it. I really don't. Like, I don't think you can be like, I'm going to be interested in this now. I'm a determinist on most every topic like that. And I don't think you have a choice. It's like, because you could be, you can make just as much money, I don't know, whatever, on the stock market or something, or just a business, or, there's a million ways. YouTube, there's a million ways to make money, right? Without like working for the man or something. But like, if you have no interest in it, like I mean, I would guess like 99% of people aren't going to do well at all. And I don't really think you have any control over whether you have interest in it.
I've had that conversation with people, there's lots of people who are like, oh, I want to do, content creation full time, or I want to be a fantasy analyst full time. And there's this glorification of whatever they view as getting to the top of the mountain or succeeding, whether that's a full-time job. And they say, I'm going to grind and I'm going to do all this grunt work, things that I don't actually like. And then the carrot at the end, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow will be this like great job and stuff where it's all the, peaches and roses. But the reality is, it's whatever you're good at, the grind, that's what someone's going to pay you to do, right? Like if you're really good, if you're a news hound and you were just so good at undercovering all these news, but you're like, someday I'll just get to be on podcasts and not have to do this again. It's like, no, you're going to get noticed because you're really good at finding news. And someone's going to want you to keep doing that. So just that continual reminder to me of like the stuff you're doing, you better have fun doing it. You better enjoy it, because there's just more of that to come. Like, it's not like there's going to be a shift and be like, oh, now you get to, just sit on your throne and not do any work.
Yeah. There's also like a surprise element. When I started working in minor league baseball after I graduated with a sports management degree, and that's what I wanted to do, was work in baseball. I was like awful. I hated it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have time to watch the game. Like back then I actually wanted to watch the games. And I'm like, this was a giant mistake. And that was like the only reason I went to college too, is like, I could care. I had no interest in going to college. It was mainly just like to get my mom off my back.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm the first person to have that epiphany of, I wish now I had, 4 years of time where I could go like hand select various topics, trades, skills that I wanted to go take courses in for 4 years. Like, to me, that sounds so fun right now, whether it is, video editing or learning about cryptography or how to, speak Mandarin or develop, be a developer, like all these things that would be really fun to just try to learn, that I have more curiosity about now, where back then I had zero curiosity about a lot of these things.
I've had the same thought, like, oh man, what would I do differently? But honestly, I'd probably just go to the University of Wisconsin and party.
Yeah. Well, that you can't put a price on that. I don't think anyone has regrets of partying too much.
That's all college is. That's all schooling is. A bunch of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Did we answer Jake's question?
Yeah, I was actually just going to pull this up.
Yeah.
Look at that profile picture of Jake. What a hunk.
A handsome guy.
Yeah.
Do you want to take?
I thought you were. I haven't max entered since, I don't know. I can't even remember the last time I max entered something.
I just did a video on this, Jake. Kind of. That, like, the last video I did was a bankroll one, and I think now with the payout structures and DFS, like, most people should not be max entering most contests. Like, the synopsis of that, anyways, was most people probably shouldn't. And like, you could just do quick math to like just divide the top prize. Well, first of all, you see the gap between first place and second place, and the wider that gap is, the closer it gets to being like a winner take all. And if we're doing winner take all 100K to first, like you need a massive bankroll, massive bankroll, probably like $2 million or something.
What if you're trying to win a CryptoPunk as a bit in a PGA golf contest?
Yeah, that's different.
Okay.
Yeah, and also you could people do whatever you want. I don't care. Yeah. So like the closer it gets, so the closer it gets to winner take all, like you could be justified in just entering one or two, and like with the skill level shrinking, the argument of, oh, well, you're losing so much edge by not max entering, because if you enter each one, well, that's only if you know you have an edge on each lineup. And the better lineups that get entered into these contests, the worse your 150th is, and your 149th, and so on and so forth. And maybe the worse you are, and you shouldn't be entering those. Maybe you only have 50 in you or something like that. So if it's a flat structure with a decent payout to first, so you're getting like 10 to 1 on the first place prize, and the gap between first and second isn't huge, isn't getting near winner take all levels, then I would definitely max enter it, and you probably still should at this point. And like Jake, for sure, he's definitely in that skill group where he should be max entering that type of thing. But I don't think there's any shame, and especially in like the $20 ones, Jake, or like those mid stakes ones. A lot of times they'll do like hockey's payouts are smaller, but because that's what Jake plays. But he plays a lot of baseball too. So like the baseball ones, like the one today was pretty good. The $88 one was like 20K to first, 10K to second. Like that one's fine. Like I didn't max enter that though. I entered $2,000, 10 to 1. So that wasn't a full max enter. So like, I mean, 10 to 1's about like, that's about where I'll go. And then whatever the math works out there, that's what I'll enter. The $15, the $10, the $8, like that 100K to first ones, I pretty much always max enter them, even if they're a little. But I have a pretty big bankroll, so like it's not the end of the world. But I don't think there's any problem with someone entering 50 or 75 or 100 even into those. But sometimes the payout structure is really good. And it's like a flat payout structure where it's like, let's say 100K to first, 75K to second, or just, divide that down like 10K to first, 7,500 to second. Like you got to be max entering those, I would say. Otherwise, you shouldn't be playing probably, because you're a huge dog. And then if you're a huge dog, you should I did a video on this one too, one of my first ones, just enter a couple.
Yeah.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. And people are going to check out that video here. I think Mike brings up a really good question here. Do you feel like your strategy will change now that you have that Vegas Dave hat?
Probably. We'll see how, well, if I had this hat on, I probably would have won that CryptoPunk, because I did enter that.
How did you max enter it?
No, I did 2, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I saw who had a bunch in there. CSU had a bunch. Osmo. I think Osmo might have capped it.
I don't like max entering winner take alls.
Yeah.
Like also with the I've never done these before, but everyone seems to like them. The qualifiers for the championships. Right? In each sport, they have the qualifiers every day for championships.
Yeah.
I wouldn't max enter those. I mean, there is overlay a lot of the times, but whatever, you still get that overlay, and you're like 1, 2, 3 entries into it.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously, like if you're a pro, do whatever you're doing, because you're probably doing well. Don't listen to me, but I'm saying like more for that, like people who aren't sure how good they are. Or,
yeah. Have you? Are they running a lot of qualifiers right now for MLB? Do you fire at those?
I historically I've never fired at them all. The last few months I've been throwing a couple in.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I wonder what the action will be like once they get back into scheduling more live finals. I imagine those kind of first blowout live finals, like post coronavirus, where everyone's thinking of, oh my God, I've been inside for 18 months and I want to go party with DFS guys wherever. I imagine a decent amount of action on those.
I haven't been checking to see if they're filling.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Yeah.
People are clamoring.
That's still my thing. Like I'm all about the experiences and stuff. So I would definitely willingly sacrifice some EV just to try to bank a slot at a live final, just because I think that'd be so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's different.
I know you. I know you're not like me.
You
would have fun at a live final.
I probably wouldn't go.
Yes, you would. If I went, Lolz hits.
If people were going, then I would go. Yeah. I never thought because I didn't know anybody a year and a half ago. So I guess I knew Alex a little bit, but who the hell am I going to hang out with down there? So it's like
me, buddy.
There was one in Chicago. I don't know. I don't remember. Actually, I think it might have been last year and it got canceled because of COVID. But I was like, if I even get in this, I probably won't even take an Uber down.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of the fan experience stuff that they get looked pretty cool. I always hear Pete's story. They played who did they play horse with? Who was it? Julius Erving or yeah?
I hate that shit. They stopped asking me to. They're like, do you want to go on the field of the Wrigley and play catch with a player? I'm like, no.
You're such a curmudgeon, man.
Am I 10 years old?
You are. No, don't do this. Everyone watching the chat would die to go have one of those experiences, and you're just thumbing your nose at it.
I'm not thumbing. That's how I actually feel. You're welcome to feel however you want, chat. I don't think. I think wearing another man's name on your back is reserved to high school girlfriends.
Do you?
And children.
No, that's not what I'm hinting at. Do you like traveling in general?
Not really.
Yeah. No. So have you ever done much traveling? Have you been to Europe?
I traveled to this just reminded me to Boston for the NFL opener DK invite.
Okay.
And this dude was trying to sleep on my lap. And I got the back row. My buddy and my brother came with me, and they're just sitting across. They were in the other side of the aisle, just laughing at me. And this guy was crazy. I don't want to get in trouble, so I won't say anything about him. But he was trying to sleep on my lap the whole time, and it was that last row. And I'm about 6'1", and I don't know if you ever slept in the last row of one of these planes, and you're just cramped in there. You can barely move. And that was the way there. And the ride home, I was hungover as I think I stayed up till 6 in the morning, and then had to do lamps. And lock was 11.
Okay, but did you have fun at the live event, save for the travel mishaps?
Yeah.
You didn't have any enjoyment putting faces to these names that you've battled in the DFS streets?
I met random dudes, 2 random guys who were cool, and we drank, and because they were drinkers, so they drank with us the whole night.
See, you did have a good time. You don't want to admit it. You had a good time.
Yeah, no, but it's drinking and going out with buddies. I could do that. I could have a good time anywhere. It has nothing to do with a live final.
Okay.
It wasn't a live final anyway. It's just a little opening ceremony party.
How about I buy a percentage of your live final action, and then I get to go to the live final if you win?
We could do that. We could work something out. I'll definitely send you in my stead to play catch on the field if you want to do something like that.
There you go. Is this? I'm now confused if this is the clairvoyant who won the man's auction, because then this clairvoyant was in my comment section saying, "Who's this clairvoyant?" And now I'm confused.
What did we do then, clairvoyant?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. I can't remember the names.
You can't remember who you hung out with? Well, I know the real.
Do we hang out all night? We hung out with 2 dudes.
Did you hang out with Eric Chan? That's the clairvoyant that the man's met yesterday, who plays DFS. Okay, it is Claire. So have you hung out with Eric Chan at DFS events?
No.
Okay.
Did we?
Well, he says
Eric
he does.
Chan?
Wow. Oh,
I
he
wouldn't
says you
remember
just
the
met in
last name.
passing.
Well, we met in passing. That's
Yeah. See, Eric, we're bringing Eric out of his shell. He's starting to make a name for himself. He made a big purchase, burst onto the scene. You recognize his handle from DFS, right?
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't hate it yet, so that means that you've still got a few, milli makers in you.
Yeah.
I have no. Eventually, once I start hating a name, like, oh yeah, I know that name. I know that fucking name.
What DFS name right now do you hate the most when you see it?
DFS isn't as bad as poker was. Poker was the worst. Did you have that when you played cards?
No, I mean I didn't play enough to have someone that I hated like that.
Oh God.
Give me a DFS name. Who tilts you when you see them up at the top of the leaderboards?
DFS. There is somebody, I just can't think of it. I can't think of anybody. Damn it. There was somebody the other day. I was like, oh yeah, this fucking guy.
Do you know Zach? What song did I sing to you on your birthday? How many of these people in the chat do you know, Brian?
What? No.
My
birthday.
Empire Maker, Awesemo, Whistle
Empire
Go
Maker
Woo.
Doesn't play GPPs a lot.
RVX88. No, RVX88. That does, I mean, it used to tilt you. Now that you guys are BFFs, I don't know if it tilts you as much.
that run that man went on.
Yeah.
People
sorry.
He also got like 3 seconds or something like that in the millies.
Just the heater of a lifetime, man. And now
the whistle goes woo. It would piss me off. It irritates me a little bit, but Peter's kind of like righted the ship for me on that, where he thinks it's good to have like these kind of personalities, and he's probably right. So yeah, but like, because that guy never played before Vacone 19.
Well, this is the thing, because I do legitimately think those guys are good, because the whole idea, right, is they're essentially an organic DFS influencer. Someone watched a video, they're like, this guy just gets smashed and is having the time of his life playing DFS. That seems like something I would like to do. Bet a lot of money and on sports, and then win and go party. So yeah, you need Whistle Go Woo guys in the ecosystem.
And he's definitely aped in, because he's been playing everything at every stake too. So he must have just kept that milli on his DraftKings account.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much of it is left.
He wins. I mean, he still wins. He does. I think he does pretty well.
He was, yeah. He's probably a lot sharper than he came off in that video when he was 12 drinks deep.
The levels he's playing, if he wasn't winning, he would, like, easily half of that would be gone, and he's got to pay taxes. All of it would be gone.
Yeah, and he was. I saw him up at the top of the punk leaderboard there for a while. I had said he was the only guy I'd be willing to lose a punk to.
He also plays all the sports now too.
Wow, man,
he's playing NHL too. Jake says, "Wow."
Banked an NHL early slate the other day. That's how you know you're a degen. NHL early slate.
Yeah, and I don't remember his name before. Maybe I just missed it.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you remember who won the punk? I forget. I think I saw the username, but I didn't recognize it.
After I'm out of an event, I'm like, I just go back for spite. Like, what asshole won this? Who got lucky?
Well, we were talking last week with Matt. You said you were a little overextended relative to what you'd normally put in. Did you end up scaling back, and how did Masters go for you?
No, I lost. Yeah, I played too much. It wasn't too bad. I was in it, and Sunday just didn't go my way at all. Like, if Sunday was halfway decent, I probably would have come close to breaking even. So I probably lost 60%, 55%.
Okay.
Of everything.
The classic I broke even, huh? We've all heard it.
No, I didn't. I was under
Okay.
even. Lost
Okay, under
55 to
even. A
60%.
loss 50. All right, all right. Okay, I guess I can believe you.
You want me to show you?
Yeah, can you pull up your roto tracker?
I'm proud
Can't
of it.
trust you. And what was your two banks? Because you've had 200K banks in the past few weeks, right?
Yeah, I've been getting lucky. I did baseball, and the NBA. I think were the three.
Okay, all right. So is this that has to be one of your better heaters, right?
Yeah, pretty good. I'll take it for sure. A couple years ago, I went on one bigger than this, but
yeah. Well, what was because your football stretch wasn't too hot, right?
no, football, the whole COVID thing just was really bad.
Yeah.
I was doing great in the beginning of last year too. Really, really killing it. And COVID happened. Didn't play we played at League of Legends.
Yeah.
I ended up with 35%. We actually did a whole show on that.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I think I only made a handful of lineups, but I didn't have him in any of them. What did he end up coming in at in your stuff?
35%. I used them.
No. Like, what were you about dead even with the field or a little over?
A little over, yeah. So he came in at like 32%, I think, owned in the big one.
Okay.
I projected him at 30. I felt that was a little low, but
yeah. And what did he end up finishing? What did Spieth end up finishing?
He was up there, 5th or 6th, and he was like -5 or something.
Yeah.
-5. I think what I like the advice I gave out was right. If you think that he's like, because all the DFS sites were saying he had like a 2.5-3% chance of winning, and the Sportsbook were saying 7.5. So if you thought it was 2.5, you should have completely faded him. If you thought it was 7.5, you should play him, like at least even. If you thought the projections were off and he was going to be like 37% owned, you probably should fade him. If you thought it was like 30, then you should play him. It's like I really felt like he was right on the cusp.
Yeah.
And I had him for like 6% chance of winning, 30% ownership. So I was on the high end of winning and the low end of ownership, and so he made it in.
Yeah. I feel like your process, though, like a year ago, I just feel like in golf, those guys that were garnering that kind of ownership were closer to full fades for you.
Well, yeah. I kind of noticed that when we were talking last week when you said something like that. And I think, I was going to say like I faded a ton of guys though. And it's like, there's only so many guys you can fade. And I had him at 30. Like I think you had him at what, 33 or something, 34,
yeah.
Which it's not going to change things significantly, but it definitely changes things.
Yeah.
And so I faded Finau. Schauffele's the one that really hurt me. I faded Schauffele. I faded a whole bunch of those guys. I faded Corey Connors, who was really high owned, and he did well, of course. That hole in one, I was like, well, there goes the neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah, golf is, man, it is brutal. I mean, I don't know. I know we've talked about this. I don't appreciate the golf sweat that much. I don't think it's that great of a sweat, but
do you watch golf at all?
Just like all Sundays, just closing for like the bigger tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, there is 2 sweats though. There's the cut,
yeah,
and then Sunday. Yeah. So you don't get 2 sweats on a month. I can understand that though. Yeah, MMA is a great sweat. I was thinking about this with your bankroll, but from our earlier talk about wanting to do things, this probably isn't going to fly. But like we could have done like a Pete bankroll challenge and just seen if we could run you up before football.
Yeah,
well, run you up to something like 5K or something, and then you don't have to redeposit.
That's what Paul was saying too. Of people, he was trying to build his role here for the NFL. But I'm kind of the same with you. Like I have this all-in personality, like when I got really into League of Legends last March, like I was putting in a lot of time into that. And now I'm putting all my time into making and producing content. Jake asked, what sports am I playing these days? I mean, I threw a couple lineups in PGA. I'll play the random MMA slate, But I'm not a DFS grinder. I mean, the only thing I grind is NFL DFS.
One of the guys in my chat ripped 30K on the Masters.
There you go.
Is that okay? Oh, somebody recommended Mark Levin as someone we hate. No, I don't. He doesn't. I don't hate him for some reason.
Yeah. I think you respect the guys who I think you feel like you kind of understand their process, or you know what kind of level they're operating on. I feel like you normally it's when you find out someone doesn't do their own modeling that's winning a lot. That's
Maybe.
what tilts you.
Maybe. Or a new guy. Like, come on, get out of here, buddy. This is hard enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like back to the bankroll challenge, and I was thinking it, mulling it over a little bit. I'm like, I can't figure out like how would we get him up with your schedule.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
it's like,
with Peter's DFS skills, could we build a bankroll?
Not your skills necessarily, but your time, because you could probably just grind the under $5.
Yeah.
You could shop. You know what I would probably do? I'd probably get off of DraftKings and play on Super Draft and Yahoo.
Yeah, that's always your advice for me. I actually probably should do that for. Do they have pretty full offerings? Is Yahoo doing a bunch for all these other sports? Does Yahoo have MMA?
They do not. They just have golf. Let me look right now.
Yeah.
NBA, MLB, golf, NHL, and then NFL and soccer, which aren't live.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the main ones. Super Draft does have MMA.
Yeah. I know you're right. That is ultimately what it's just like, yeah.
That's still a grind though. Like there's really nothing you could do except bank.
Yeah.
Except just bank a 20 man or something.
Well, the nice thing for me with PGA and MMA is I kind of know what my process is going to be. I just have to update my sheets, and I don't have to be grinding a bunch of news, other than like the MMA fights getting scratched last minute. And I can just come in, do it. I know it'll probably only take me an hour. I can't do that for MLB or NBA or all that stuff. It's too dynamic.
I feel like there's way more edge in MMA than PGA.
Yo, yeah.
Way more. PGA is like, I don't know. It's like football, except with more randomness.
Yeah.
Maybe football, there's more noobs. It's probably not a good comparison, but.
Well, I feel like in golf, because there's so many options, even if you take stands, like there isn't the anti-fragility in golf. Like if you fade that, like you still have to hit your other things. Whereas if you take the anti-fragile stand in MMA and everyone else fails, you stand to gain a ton by hitting like the underdog, way more so than you would in golf.
Yeah, it's the dupes too.
Please don't talk about the dupes.
I know. Don't dupe me and don't talk about dupes.
Don't talk about dupes, bro. Come on, Pete. You don't want to grind NBA setting lineups 10 seconds before lock. No.
Right.
I tried this like 4 years ago.
And stay on your computer until 10.
I'm not built for that shit. Especially after like sitting at your computer all day and then to like extend that. And then you're wanting to sweat it, and then you're needing to do late swaps. It's like I would lose my marriage.
It's lame. Like I was going to take a shower before the show, and then Morris got ruled out, and I'm like, well, there's 14 minutes before the lineup. I have to get these lineups in. Can't take that shower, so I had to get those lineups in and then go. It's annoying, and then it's like, oh, should I wait before the next lineups get announced? And you have to late swap. You have to in the NBA now. Like you should have been doing it before, but now you definitely have to.
Is your guy still because you had solicited a news hound? Do you still have that going?
Rotor Grinders poached him from me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you got a gig at Rotor Grinders.
Whoa. Wow. Look at that. Did he come to you to with a chance to match it?
Yeah. Yeah, they offered him more than the zero I was paying him. So
wow. Come on, Brian. You got to retain your employees.
that's true. Hey, he's gonna get way more exposure with roto-grinders than with me. So
yeah.
And that's what he was looking for anyways.
Yeah. Well, it's good. So you're in the hunt for another one? If anyone's watching? You're done with it altogether? You're done with a free unpaid news hound?
Yeah, well, I also like you could build, we talked about this, Pete. You could build those the code out on Discord to have it automated.
Yeah.
And it's like I'd probably just do that if I really wanted to.
Yeah. What's the deal with your app these days?
My part of my site's been down for like a week and they just finally fixed it. And so they're like 2 months behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be out hopefully in the next week in Top Shot beta.
Okay. And is it going to be an actual app or just like a mobile interface?
It's going to be a Chrome extension.
Oh, okay.
And you'll have to download it on my website because Chrome denied me.
Wow.
Because they don't allow gambling.
Right.
Even though roto-grinders has a very similar app.
So tell me again the kind of the functionality of it, of the extension.
It's going to have like a whole bunch of sports betting things like auto open the sites and keep them open because they get you get kicked off of them after like 10 minutes of delay, so it hurts when you're trying to live bet. It's going to eventually have like arbitrage alerts and steam chasing and stuff based off of, some offshore books. And it's going to have like overlays on the actual site. So you could see what I'm trying to do is I actually have to talk to, I want to talk to Cardi. And I talked to CSU like a couple months ago about this too, but getting their data and then integrating it with my app where you could do it already by just copying and pasting, but making it seamless with like an API.
Yeah.
And it auto updates and stuff like that.
So like with the notifications and stuff, is that through the Chrome extension or that would be like an email service addition?
No, like it'll pop up on your computer. Like,
no,
whatever. The Braves line just moved, 30 cents from bookmaker. And then you got like whatever, 30 seconds or a minute and a half to go hit it at the American books because they just copy them.
Right. And this is going to all be automated. It's not like you're putting in any manual stuff to it.
No, it'll all be automated. Yeah.
It'll
all be automated.
Nice. What's the price point going to be?
$25
a month or one time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. I figured that's about right.
Yeah. I mean, if your unit size, I would say is, what you'd have to be like a $2 to $3 like unit size for that to not probably be worth it if you're high volume.
I figure most people $10 or whatever. Well, if you bet enough, that'll be fine. But it's also like it's for people who know what they're doing, kind of.
Jake wants you to raise the price.
Jake should be my marketing director. It's for people who like know spreads and steam tracing and arbitrages and stuff like that, and use DFS data, right? Like you could use Osimo's numbers, plug them in there, and it'll price it for you and populate it right on the site. You don't have to go anywhere. And I think eventually, like I have like things I want them to do, but they take so fucking long. 180. Yeah. See, that's the thing, that there will be no picks. Like you'll have to establish the run or Derek Hardy's or blah, blah, blah. You have to use their information or make your own. So I do have mine. I'll put mine up there. But that will be of just one option if you want to use it. Because I use it for myself. So that was the whole idea. It was just for me. Yeah. And I'm like, actually, this is pretty awesome. And you could use other people's info.
What are we calling it? Do you have a name for it?
Yeah, Sportsbook HUD.
HUD. Okay.
Like the old poker HUDs.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. It's clean. Is he gonna have a logo?
It does.
Okay. All right.
My brother popped one out for me.
There you go. like a small child just popped out a logo for you.
That's how he does his art.
There you go.
It's a very new wave.
Nice. Well, dude, that's exciting. I'm excited to see that bad boy in action.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You are gonna lose customers, it sounds like, without any guarantees. Maybe we can do a Lolz launch party for it, and we can do some screen share and see how it works.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can give away Vegas Dave apparel. No, maybe we shouldn't do that. We have to figure out a line we have to draw with giving him money and giving him clout.
How much do you think if you went to Vegas Dave and you're like, okay, look, I just made it's the Sportsbook HUD. It's my new extension. It helps, sports bettors make informed decisions. And we need an influencer, someone very beloved in the sports betting industry. How much would it take, Vegas Dave, for me, Brian Hooper, to kind of make you the key influencer for my new Chrome extension? What number do you think he gives you?
$2 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if he was like, you said you need to do at least 10 social media posts about it and a couple podcasts or whatever talking about it, he probably quote you $2 million.
You'd be like, well, I have 3.5 million Instagram followers. They're all real, obviously.
Yeah, I would love to know what Vegas Dave thinks a HUD is. Yeah, maybe he's not the best strategic partner for you.
I would love to see what that sounds like a good Laden thanks, actually.
Yeah.
What Vegas Dave charged for his services. I would like to see that.
You do know, like, you never see any brands working with him, right? Like, maybe I'm not the authority on Vegas Dave, but I never see him doing paid sponsorships. Like, I don't think any company wants to work with him.
He says ESPN in his Twitter bio.
Well, he also says Showtime, right? And he was like, in that documentary, was portrayed very, in his words, unfairly, but he still touts it as a credit.
Do you think he'd be down for that? Like, let's say whatever the money was we could afford it, where he promotes us constantly, like that we're the best, and we just shit on him relentlessly.
Yeah, I mean,
I that's think the whole dynamic.
Yeah, I just like, it's so like absurd, like that he puts those in his credits, but if you watch it, they're just making fun of them. I feel like this is like a chance for you to do like a very cancelable like analogy. It would be like if like Timothy McVeigh like put Oklahoma City bombing like in his resume, where it's like no, like that's not something that you want to be broadcasting. But Vegas Dave's like, check me out, getting called a scammer on Showtime.
What would you think he would charge you?
I think for that, let's actually simplify it. Let's say like 5 social media posts. Let's say like 2 tweets and 3 Instagram posts. I bet he'd try to charge you $100,000 for that.
You're saying every day or just once?
A one-time like $100,000 5 social media posts over the course of like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or he'd be like, 2 Bitcoins.
And you'd be like, well, actually, Vegas Dave, $100,000 would be about 1.4 Bitcoin. And you'd go, what? You're going to cut one of the Bitcoins in half? Yes, Jason. Not that we know.
Well, as far as you know,
yeah.
Jason.
Yeah. This is where the show heats up once we get into these analogies.
Here's what Blaine says in my my YouTube chat. Tennis.
What about it?
For like the challenge?
Yeah.
Like your bankroll challenge?
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I agree with him.
Play tennis on DraftKings?
Yeah. And I have a good model. I just never do it.
How and what's the like tennis DFS schedule like? Are there
That's why I don't do it.
because it's so
like,
infrequent?
It's in the morning. It's like also Mondays is like the big day or something like that. And I'm like done with the weekend. I'm taking a break Monday morning.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'd be interested. I'd talk to you about some tennis stuff.
Yeah, the schedule would work for you. Probably because it's weird. So it wouldn't be during your podcasting time or whatever during the day.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll make a resurgence into the DFS streets. It could be a lull segment. We could talk some tennis, get us back in the DFS
I'll
streets.
let you have my model. It's only $100,000 for 5 days use.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. How about I just become an influencer for you in exchange for your model?
Just touting my tennis model.
Are you gonna get merch for the sports betting HUD? SBH in the Vegas Dave.
I didn't even think of it. I am not
Willis
good.
is excited about tennis DFS. Let's go on what's the next big major? Do we have one coming up?
This is another reason why I don't play tennis. Blaine, what's the next big major?
Tennis?
Steve invited me to go to the live final. Did you win one, Steve? Already?
Steve, are you watching the same show I am? Brian doesn't want to go. You're supposed to invite me to the live final.
That's true.
I'm the one that's going to have fun there, while Brian is just angry because
I'll
someone
have fun
slept
once
in his lap.
if I know people.
Yeah.
I don't make friends, okay? I don't know how to make friends.
Brian is like the cliche from the reality TV show, but at a live final where like DK interviews him and he's just like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win the fucking tournament.
No, I am here to make friends. I just don't know how, DK.
So it looks like we got a bunch of French Open. Yeah, May 30th. Should that be? And then does DK run contests for all these smaller ones? Barcelona, Open Bank, Sabadell?
Yeah, they'll combine them too, which is a pain in the ass.
Ooh, that does sound like a pain in the ass.
It's not that bad once you have all your stuff set up, but yeah. And of course the names. Because they'll have Enyes and
the problem is I guess it would be French Open and Wimbledon would be the two big ones before football season started. And then US Open is like right around when the football season's starting. All right, maybe I'll become a tennis DFS bro with your guidance and tutelage.
Okay. We'll have to see what your bankroll is and
my bankroll is currently tied up in a lot of digital art projects.
No, you had like $500 on there, $600 on there.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's the spirit of the bankroll challenge, right? We start small.
Plus your whatever remaining crowns you have and $600.
The crowns.
That might be a little. You have to do it like
I get the deposit king can deposit for a good content.
That's what I was going to say is you'll just have to be super aggressive with the 600, and if you go broke, then just deposit more money.
Yeah. That it's maybe Brian's model isn't as good as we thought it was.
Definitely possible.
All right, guys. Hopefully next week my Vegas Dave merch arrives. Thank you for joining us on the Lolz experience once again. Brian, any final words here?
No, I don't think so. What do I always say? Oh yeah, download the podcast. Please.
Download the podcast, Lolz podcast. And it's on my to-do list. I do want to get, maybe your brother needs to pop out a logo. I need to get like a t-shirt friendly version of our logo so we can get Lolz t-shirts.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
going
to be
hot. Have a copy of the Photoshop one.
Oh, the actual file.
I have it somewhere.
Okay. Yes. Send it to me. I might work on that. Or I might, maybe I'll have my designer guy give the Lolz logo just a little facelift. Just maybe a little facelift. Unless you're married to it. If you love this and you don't want me to mess with it.
No, you're the one who like basically designed this too. Remember, like the guy would send it to me, I'd send it to you, like do this, do that, back and forth. I didn't care. I'm like, whatever Pete wants.
Yeah, I mean, we had the concept. It was no
I'm wearing a
toxicity.
Star Wars shirt. What do I know? And a
Yeah,
Vegas Dave hat.
you're a nerf herder. All right. Anyway, subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. We'll be back next week, as we are every Wednesday here on Lolz.